Agriculture remains the backbone of Uganda's economy. On this episode of BAU Connect, I am joined by Mr. Richard Berugawa, the Executive Director of Finance, to explain to us the Agricultural Credit Facility and the Small Business Recovery Fund. So please join me on the next episode of BAU Connect. My name is Ralph Akorabirunji, and I will be your host. Welcome to BAU Connects, the podcast where we talk about what the central bank is doing for the ordinary Ugandans. Now, today we talk about a question that I've had a lot of the time. Where can I get affordable credit financing, to increase my farm or to support my business? Well, you're in luck. Today we are joined by Mr. Richard Berugawa, who oversees two of the major credit schemes at the central bank. These are mainly the Agricultural Credit Facility, or the ACF, and the Small Business Recovery Fund. Richard is the Executive Director of Finance, and I'd like to thank him for giving us his time today. Richard, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Raf. Thank you for having me.
All right. So let's jump right in. What is the Agricultural Credit Facility, or the ACF for short?
Finance has two departments, so I look after accounts department and the administered funds department. So in the administered funds department is where we manage the Agricultural Credit Facility, ACF, and the Small Business Recovery Fund. So the Agricultural Credit Facility was a government initiative that started way back in 2009. The idea was to finance agricultural enterprises that were finding it difficult to access affordable financing because the commercial banks or the supervised financial institutions were regarding this as a risky venture, which is affected by weather, floods, and everything. And so they were not willing to give financing. And whenever they gave, it was very expensive.
Yes.
So the government thought it fit to put in money to support agriculture. Initially, government started with 30 billion. The way it operates is that it is a partnership with supervised financial institutions. So the government puts in half of the money, and the commercial banks and other institutions put the matching fund, the other half. So we started with a total of 60 billion way back in 2009. And that's how it operates. Cheap credit, affordable for farmers, and the idea was to modernize and commercialize agriculture as well.
Yes.
And as we discuss further, this also ensures our food security. And food security also may mean, not all the time, but it means a lot to the political stability.
Yes.
Hungry people are very angry.
That is very true.
So that's the origin of the Agricultural Credit Facility.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, most people will be hearing about this fund for the first time. Who actually qualifies to get money under the ACF?
Okay, so everybody involved in agriculture qualifies for ACF. But since we are dealing with financial institutions, it must be commercial. You must be earning money from this venture.
It must be commercial agriculture.
Yes, not what do we call the ones subsistence, where people go to gardens, dig for their own consumption.
Yes.
You must be having something to take to the market. So we are talking of enterprises dealing in on-farm activities. You could have crops, maize, any crop that is for consumption.
Yes.
Then we're also talking of dairy farming. We are talking of beef production, cattle fattening. We are also talking of the agricultural value chain. So if you are looking for machinery to help you in agriculture, that also qualifies. So tractors, cooling machines for perishable goods, tomatoes, yogurt, and all these. Also, if you are looking for transportation, transporting your goods from the farm to the market, you are looking for storage. You want to construct silos, and after harvest management, all that is covered under this agricultural credit facility.
Okay, that's
Yes.
really helpful. Now, I'd want to get into a bit of specifics. This is really what people care about when they hear about credit financing.
Yes.
Money and time.
Yes.
What are we talking about in terms of the maximum loan size that they can actually get? And is there a grace period? What are the times what is the length of period that people can get this money for?
So for this facility, first of all, why we deal with commercial banks, one is because they put money,
Yes.
but also they know the credit history of customers. That's why you have your account. Not everybody, I mean, people don't have accounts in the central bank. So then you go to where they know you and do the credit analysis.
Yes.
So the maximum loan size is 2.1 billion. But this can be varied depending on the project. If we think the project is going to create more jobs for Ugandans, is going to earn foreign exchange, we are going to export, this can be varied on a case-by-case basis. But 2.1 is the limit. And then you can borrow from 6 months up to 8 years. The grace period goes up to 3 years. Okay. So depending on the project and the agreement you have with the commercial bank or the supervised financial institution, yes, then you can negotiate the grace period. Yeah. Okay. You asked also about the interest rate. The interest rate is a maximum of 12% per annum. So you can negotiate, could be lower. I have seen some borrowers getting at less than 12, but cannot exceed 12%. And we insist and must check that you get at 12%, not more than 12%.
All right.
We also fix, by the way, the loan processing fees. We fix this at 0.5%. Okay. So the loan processing fee is fixed. The interest rate is fixed to make it affordable to Ugandans. So in 2015, there was a bump harvest of maize. Okay. So the price moved, I think, from 500 to about 200, and farmers were registering huge losses.
Yes.
So again, the government thought it fit to support these farmers and put in a fund of 100 billion to mop up the excess maize and maintain the price so that farmers do not lose out.
Yes.
So this is fixed at 15% because it is trade.
That's for the grain facility.
Yes, and it is for 2 years. Okay, 15% for 2 years.
Okay.
And yeah, it is paid quickly because it has turnover. It is commercial. It is for trade.
Have you found that a lot more people prefer the grain facility?
So the grain facility actually takes a big chunk of the money because it is trade. Yes. It needs a big volume of working capital. So people with silos who consume, who buy from the farmers need a lot of money. And again, I want to remind you, during COVID-19, you remember the government was distributing some food items, posho and beans. And we did finance those enterprises that were supplying government. Yeah. And so have seen a big portion of the money actually goes to grain facility.
All right. Speaking of COVID, let's now shift gears to the Small Business Recovery Fund.
Yes.
This one, I believe, as I said, was designed to help businesses bounce back. Can you walk us through this? What exactly is the Small Business Recovery Fund? Again, who is eligible? How much can they get and for how long?
So thank you for that question, Raf. The Small Business Recovery Fund was designed to help businesses that suffered losses due to the lockdown occasioned by COVID-19. Because remember, they were locked down and people were not moving. So businesses were affected. So this fund was put in place in 2021 to help those businesses to recover from the effects of COVID-19. Yes. So the businesses we're looking at were small businesses that required not too much money. So the loan size was put at 100 million, then we revised it to 200, and I'll tell you that later we revised again. So
revised upwards?
We revised upwards for people to take more money.
Oh, okay.
So if I may mention, now we have done a revision. Now we have capped the amount at 500 million because we saw that there are businesses that required money but were not fitting the definition of small. So 200 million was small, especially look at businesses like hardware.
Yes.
So they need a lot more money and the turnover. So I'll put this at 500 million. But what that means is that the government will put 250 million and the commercial banks or financial institutions will put the balance of 250. Okay, but the loan is one. It is one loan, you get the 500 at once. So the businesses we are looking at, as I said, were businesses like those hardware businesses, supermarkets, groceries, saloons, transport, tourism, entertainment, all those businesses that make the economy to move, including bars for those who like
what they call the night economy.
The night economy, those who like enjoying bars and nightclubs are also eligible to partake in this to make sure that people recover. So the loan size I said was 200, now it is 500.
Yes.
The interest rate is capped at 10%. Okay, to make it affordable, 10% per annum. You can borrow up to 4 years. Okay, 4 years, and then the grace period is up to 1 year.
All right.
Okay, so grace period again is negotiated, could be 6 months, but you cannot exceed 1 year, depending on how the bank has analyzed and appraised your project. Now, before we leave this, we have also said that now that COVID has gone and we have seen the uptake of the money is low, maybe we'll discuss why it is low.
Why is it?
We have said that businesses that started after COVID should also benefit from this fund. Because the uptake was small, we got 100 billion and we have lent turnover is about 69 billion. We still have cash of about 160 billion. Turnover means that you lend money to 2 million to entity A. When entity A pays back, you lend it to B. So you have made loans of 4 million out of 2. So that's a revolving fund. That's how it works. So out of little money, you can make many loans.
Okay.
So we have also called it not small business recovery, because the recovery is in the past. We have nicknamed it Small Business Fund, SBF. We have dropped the R.
Okay.
And the ministry has signed, so we rolled it out. It is effective 1st of February.
Okay.
2026.
What exactly are the terms? You've mentioned that the businesses that were started even after COVID, you must have, I think, there should also be a bit of turnover. Okay. Who exactly is eligible for this fund?
Okay, so as I said, all businesses, many times you must be bankable. You must have a bank account. You must have a credit history. Many times we find that people make money and they don't take it to the bank. They keep it either on the phone, in the mattress, in the business itself. They lock it in the shop, because that will not give the bank information about your credit history. So we were saying the turnover should be 300 million, but we have removed that. So what you need is any business, but you must borrow only up to 500 million. So you must have a bank account. You must have, if you are borrowing 500 million, you should be able to have some books of account.
Yes.
Because then the banks have to rely on some
taxes,
information.
Paying your NSSF.
Yes, you must have some audited accounts. It doesn't have to be elaborate, but you must have some records that the banks can rely on. You must have collateral, because there is a private portion of the funding from the banks.
Yes.
We need collateral. You must have security.
That's true.
Okay. This is not hard to do. Then you must also have a valuation report of your security. Then we check also your CRB, your credit behavior.
Yes.
So if you have been a defaulter, then it becomes difficult. So you must show that you are able to pay
and willing.
Yes, this though there is the government money, but it's not free. It's not a gift. You must pay back so that we give it to somebody else, and so that many people can benefit from this facility. So you must be having a good credit history. So those are some of the requirements that are basic and that need to be fulfilled. Security, the traditional one, it has been the land title. Okay. But in addition, we can look at other types of security, debentures and guarantees, chattel mortgages. Yeah, that is for SBRF.
SBRF,
We shall
yes.
go to
We shall go to
agriculture then,
SCF.
and then
Yeah.
it has its own peculiar requirements.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
I think while we're there, let's also look at SEF. What are the terms? Who is eligible? Can you say that just because I'm in commercial farming, I can come and I want to buy land there, I can come for the SEF?
Okay. So for SCF, again, it must be a bankable project. You must have a bank account, a relationship with the bank. But as you said, you must have the land. We do not finance purchase of land.
Exactly.
Okay, you must have the land, and also we do not finance the growing of trees. For now, the forestry is out because we were focusing on food. Forestry does not provide food. We recognize that it should be considered. We have a discussion about it, but for now, forestry was left out. And the other thing is that forestry takes more than the period that we were given, the 8 years. So that's why it is not considered. But we consider every other thing, including, by the way, fencing. If you have land and you want to fence it, you don't have money for fencing, you can come and get money. Fencing, valley dams, clearing for growing crops, weeds, removing all that, that is also considered and it is eligible. So you must also have security, as we said. But for smaller loans, we can consider chibanja. If you have an agreement with the seller, you have there are people witnessed, and also the local councils who are present and they stamp.
That can be accepted.
That can be accepted. But the limit is that you borrow less. We don't give you more than 20 million if you have chibanja. But you can have a land title, and the chibanja is a top up. Okay. In addition to the one of the title, if it is not enough, then we can consider the what they call chibanja, the untitled land. And then you enhance your loan value that you are going to take from the bank.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Richard, this sounds great, and I think some people are listening now and they're like, but I qualify. All of the terms that you've mentioned, there are some people who will qualify now. My question now would be, what is the next step? Now, if you believe that you qualify, what is the next step for someone who wants to apply for these funds?
Okay, so if you think that you qualify, then you contact your bankers where you have an account.
Not the Bank of Uganda.
Not Bank of Uganda, because as I said, you must have an account where the money is going to be disbursed.
Yes.
So we have to look at how you have been operating your account. By the way, you can even open an account and if the bank thinks your project will bring money, you don't have to wait long. We have done it. You go and open an account, then you start the process.
Yes.
Okay. You start the process with recommendations, and then you can access the money. So you go to the bank, and if you find a challenge, then you can report to Bank of Uganda. We have a complaints desk, and I think, Raf, you can help those who would want to borrow. We have information. We have brochures. I don't know whether viewers can see them. There is this one for ACF. There is this one for SBF. And you can access them at the reception of Bank of Uganda, opposite Shimon Road, to that gate, opposite Grand Imperial. And you get these and acclimatize yourself. We have also information on the website.
Yes, that's what about.
This information is on the website. You can check on the website. Yes. Then we have a toll-free number. It is 0800 144 044. You should be able to get all the information that you need. By the way, I want to say that the Bank of Uganda is a public institution. You are entitled
to this information.
It is owned by Ugandans, and we are supposed to serve all Ugandans that need information without any segregation. If you are not in Kampala and you want this information, the Bank of Uganda has 9 locations, branches, where you can get this information.
Yes.
We are present in Gulu, Mbale, Lila, Kabale, Mbarara, Fort Poto. So all those places you can get this information there. Many times people fear that they don't want. Bank of Uganda receives people. It is your bank. Go and get information.
You'd be surprised, Richard.
And,
People look at the bank and they see this imposing structure, and they're like, I don't want to enter. And yet, as you've said, we're a public institution.
Yes.
We allow walk-ins. We actually expect people to walk in.
So, and we have efforts to take the bank to the people.
Yes.
And we shall continue doing that until all Ugandans have access to the information that they need. There is much more information. I think Raf will invite other people. Yeah.
So let's talk about breaking down barriers, Richard. One of the things I found very interesting about the agricultural credit facility is the block allocation concept. Now, for those of us who are not finance experts, can you please help us break this down? What is the block allocation, and why is it an exciting concept?
All right. Thank you for that question. So block allocation is a concept that we started not so long ago to improve our uptake and go to smallholder farmers. So it is a concept where a group of farmers come together and the file is submitted as one file, as a block.
Okay.
Now, these people do not have the traditional collateral land titles. We wanted to reach those who have Vibanja and other chattels.
Yes.
Okay. Including your credit history, your cash flows. So it is based on other criteria other than the traditional land title. So they come together, we process the file as one. The whole file must not exceed the 1.5 billion.
Yes.
And each borrower in the file accesses only up to 20 million. Because they are small, their requirements are not big.
Not as much.
By the way, I've seen people borrowing 200,000, 200,000, 500,000. Those who want to buy seeds, they buy pesticides, okay?
Yes.
They buy fertilizers. All of those are accommodated under this facility.
Okay.
Yeah. So we accommodate those small ones who need 1 million, 5 million, up to 20 under this arrangement. And has worked to have lent to so many people. In terms of numbers, this is the largest in terms of uptake.
Just to make this practical, what role do farmer groups or circles play in helping someone get this block allocation or even this SEF?
Okay, so what circles can do is to bring their members to a financial institution.
Yes.
They can come and borrow as a group in a financial institution. Now, we have not moved to these circles to include them on the list of financial institutions that take the money, because the idea is that we need those ones that are regulated by Bank of Uganda.
That's true.
So for large circles that have come to Bank of Uganda, these ones, we have amended the memorandum of agreement to include them, so those ones can borrow directly, from Bank of Uganda. They can submit their file. We shall give them the system, because files are submitted on the system. We give them access, and then they can we can process directly. So for those, there are few. We have license 3 or something.
The large circles.
The large circles. Yes. There's talk that we should stop, but it is for the good of the economy and for their good. We give a lot of advice. It's not to punish people, but give advice, give them more knowledge, and for those ones, their members can access this money directly.
Okay. So now we talk about policies and all of these schemes and these funds, but it always helps if we have success stories. Personally, do you have any success story from someone who has gotten the SEF that you look at and like, this is someone who used this money well?
Okay, so that's a good question. But as a bank, we will not give the names.
Of course.
We have very many. And I think ACF is one of the success stories. We have been getting awards from the visionary, they call visionary something that is organized by government as the best agricultural model that government has put in place.
Agricultural financial model, yes.
Yes. So we have, when I'm looking at the files, we have given a lot of money to especially dairy. Dairy, the milk you see in the supermarkets, because we don't want to give names, but we have participated in having milk in the shelves, milk and yogurt. If you go to the places where they slaughter animals for meat in Kampala, because Kampala has a big population, people have to eat, and we have given a lot of money to people who are doing cattle fattening. I can mention places like Gomba, places like Chankwanzi, Chiboga, the cattle corridor, where people grow, people have cattle. We have extended a lot of credit to those farmers. We have recently seen a lot of money going to milk. People are doing dairy. And this is mainly not every region in Uganda does dairy. So Kazo, Chiruhura, those places have been accessing. Places like Isinjiro access money for matoke, for banana. Then we have places in northern Uganda, they access money mainly for cereals. We have been seeing some farming because northern Uganda had the challenge of land ownership. It is communal, so they were not giving land titles. This is changing. Now we see that people can have collateral that they can give to the banks. So we have a lot of cereals, rice, northern and eastern. We have rice, we have millet. I have been seeing also a lot of sorghum, which is used for brewing beer. I think they do it for ego. I don't drink, so there is the companies that make beer need a lot of inputs from those crops in northern Uganda. And if you look at how even this grain facility works, there are a lot of stores in Soroti, in Ilira, and that region of Mbale, a lot of stores that we have financed to process the grain, make it attractive to the market, process it, grade it, sort it, those kind of things, and also do value addition. There's a lot of value addition we are doing in terms of graining, of what do you call it, making posho, right? For schools and all these places that need, now that the term is going to begin, there's a lot of activity in storing those food items that are needed by schools. So no names, but we think we have done a lot. Actually, the government has given us about 360 billion as of December 2025, and we have lent a turnover of about 1.4 trillion. Okay, out of 366, we have lent 1.4 trillion.
Congratulations.
So to about 12,000 farmers. So that is a big number. And what I didn't say, that you can borrow more than once. You borrow, you pay back, then you can
really just like a loan.
You can come back for more. Okay.
Now I want us to help people avoid some mistakes. What are the most common errors that you've seen in the application process for both funds that has made you look and say, no, you don't qualify, or you're missing something? What are the most common human errors that people make when applying for these that really just fail them at the application process?
Okay, one of the things is not having enough information that the banks want. Okay, so things like audited accounts, security not being enough to cover the loan. But also we have the challenge of the mortgaging process. Sometimes it takes long. But if you complete the documentation, we disburse the money, then we can perfect the security after. So we give a condition offer. We have given you the money on condition that you perfect the security perfection will be done. Some people complain spousal consent because now we cannot process a mortgage without the spousal consent. So that is one of the issues. Yeah, but the security is not that the bank wants to take it. It's just a commitment that you'll bring the money.
That you will
something
pay.
to it. The banks don't take securities for purpose of selling them. Nobody is interested in selling security, and it's a very expensive and elaborate process to sell.
Yeah.
If you bring the money, you take back the security. It's nobody is interested in selling your house or your title. Then the other thing, if the information is complete, it takes a short time. But sometimes we have to go back to ask for more information, this and that. So that's what it delays. But we have a system. We have a system we call ACS. Banks do not bring physical files. They scan and send us the documents. We process online, and that has quickened the turnover. We are not supposed to stay with customers' files for more than 14 days.
Okay.
But sometimes it takes longer because the information is not enough,
adequate.
is not complete. Okay, so people should work on the information to make sure that it is easy for the bank to process. And also urge the banks to help our farmers and people who borrow to help them complete the information before they send it to the central bank.
When people go to the commercial banks to ask for these facilities, they are told, they are given the commercial bank facilities instead, which are more expensive. Please guide.
That is
guide
true, and is a challenge that we have. So sometimes we go to do town hall sensitization, and the banks, we invite the banks, but after we have left, the banks then say this money is not there. Yes. Also, some staff in some banks, especially up country, are not sensitized enough. So what we have done is now to do the sensitization of bank staff, of commercial bank staff, the managers. We go and call the managers in the region and sensitize them. Yeah. Now, the commercial bank facilities are sold more than this, and that's not correct, because this is a government project, and we urge the bank to support their own government, because government gives them license, gives them conducive environment to do business. So they should help our farmers. And so we are telling the general public that if you go to a bank and they frustrate you, come to the Bank of Uganda and raise a complaint. We have given the toll-free number, we have given the website. Yes. This is why actually we are here, to make sure that people get to know. Yes. So know your right, and say you want the Bank of Uganda facility. And if they frustrate you, then you can raise it with us. We shall help you. The other thing I want to mention to you, Raf, is that the 12% is taken by the commercial bank as an incentive. So we incentivize them so that they can help our farmers. So it's not that the commercial banks are not motivated. We give them enough motivation, and they want to say that they should take advantage of that and make sure they help our farmers. The other thing is that when you help these farmers and the other businesses, they become your customers. There is that allegiance, they become your customers. And when they graduate from these funds, then they go to your funds. Because you see, if I have a business that wants more than 500 million, I would have to take your own money. Yes. So first get me in, and then we can discuss when I need more money, when I graduate from the government programs. Okay. There are farmers who need a lot more, and they might need some working capital. So the banks do not lose at all. They don't lose anything. Get these customers, then they can take on some of the products if they are not covered by the SCF or SBF. Okay. Yeah, but they remain your customers. There is a benefit. Yeah. Yes, there's a benefit.
So Richard, what is the one takeaway from this brilliant conversation that you would want our viewers and listeners to go away with?
One is to know that government cares for them and has put up front money to help us and to make sure that you have food security. The second one is that they should raise complaints with us if they are frustrated in accessing this money. And the third one is that they should know their rights. The public should know that this is public funds meant for them. So if anybody frustrates them in access or they need more information, we are also public servants,
Yes.
ready to give them this information and work with them in improving their businesses or their agricultural enterprises.
Well, there you have it. That has been BOU Connect. I've had the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Richard Byaragawa, the Executive Director of Finance. But before we close, there's some major statistics that I need you guys to be aware of. Now, for the Agricultural Credit Facility, the ACF is capped at 12% interest per annum. The processing is at 0.5%. The grace period for the agricultural credit facility is up to 3 years, with a long term of 8 years and the lowest being 6 months. And the maximum amount that you can get for the agricultural credit facility is 2.1 billion. Now let's talk about the grain facility, which Richard spoke about earlier. The maximum that you can get for this is 10 billion Uganda shillings. The interest is capped at 15% and your long term, 2 years. For block allocation, the maximum you can get is 20 million Uganda shillings. The interest is at 12% per annum. And then now when we talk about the small business fund, what used to be the small business recovery fund, it is capped at 10% interest per annum. Processing, you was it, 0.5% as well. And the maximum you can get for this is 500 million Uganda shillings. Yes, and then now we're also looking at how long this can be. 4 years for the small business fund. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been BOU Connect. Thank you for listening and watching. My name is Ralph Akorabi Runji. I have been your host. Looking forward to seeing you on the next episode.